The Savage Angle Podcast. A podcast of no direction, unfiltered, raw. Your host, hey folks, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about. What's going on in the world of America? The world of America, as I call it today, is I don't know. It's up and down right now. You know, you got the seriousness of the coronavirus, then you got these crazy Republicans. Yeah, I called the Republicans crazy. You know, it's crazy. You know, the Democrats are kind of a little nutty too, in my opinion. You know, of what's been going on lately. You know, as you know, just over a month ago, about a month ago, the Trump administration made an excellent decision of what they call it, an effort to limit the spread of the coronavirus. It forbade most foreign nationals from entering the United States if they had recently traveled to China. That was a good move. You know, the move was immediately attacked in the language of Cosmopolitan, which assumes that because travel bans and quarantines are associated with things liberals considered bad, nationalism, hardened borders, migration restrictions, they necessarily must not work as well. Okay, question mark on that, I say it. It's certainly true. It's certainly true, folks. The travel ban could not and did not prevent the coronavirus from reaching the United States. I mean, you know, you can close all these borders. You can close the borders. You can have local quarantines to prevent the coronavirus from reaching the States here. You can do all that. You know, whether you want to look at the history of the Spanish flu or Hong Kong's success, combating the coronavirus today. Okay, you don't need 100% effectiveness for travel restrictions to be wise and helpful. They buy you, above all, is a slower rate of spread, okay, or precious time for preparation. So did Trump make the right call? I don't know. You know, did he make the right call or did he not make the right call? You know, his decision on closing the borders from Chinese nationalists and people traveling to and from China during this time. Folks, we don't know how long this epidemic of a virus has been around. You know, we're only hearing it from like the last couple of months now. You know, a little after Christmas of last year. We don't know how long it's been around. We have no idea how long it's been around. All we have to do is just look at statistics. All we have to look at is, you know, a so-called announcement of when this thing made headlines. You know, the thing made headlines, right after like the first or second week of January of this year. I mean, hell, it could have been around for like the last couple of years, and all we're doing is hearing it for the first time. Well, you could say that, but you could also say, you know, Mike, you know, the U.S. has really good good sources on, outbreaks, viruses, and stuff such as like that. Okay, we do. Okay, maybe we do, maybe we don't. Maybe we have the best people in the science field in CDC centers across America. Maybe we have all that. Maybe we have a lot. Okay? But you can look at that. But here's a thing. of what's going to happen here. Okay, because this, like I've mentioned so many times, this disease, folks, is really hurting the president and his presidency, and I can tell you why. Okay, we're a short 8 months now away from the 2020 general election, just short eight short months away. Okay, this can hurt his reelection process in big ways. Okay, because the president can still be responsibly held responsible for the urgency with which the bureaucracy attacks the problem. Okay, the speed at which rules get suspended and works around is the pressure brought to bear on state and local authorities to take possible seriousness in this thing. Okay, and what I mean by that is the president has to be careful of the rhetoric, okay, to ensure private citizens to do the same. He has to watch his words with this thing. Okay, he has to make the right calls from now on to, I want to say, like right before November of this year. Okay, if he doesn't make the right calls, he doesn't go into the right scenarios, doesn't talk to the right group of people, stop talking to your advisors. Trump, stop talking to your top guys there in the White House. They don't know anything about this thing. The thing that you should be doing, okay, is talking to people in the science field, okay, that know things about this virus, or it's been around, its similarities, okay? Thank you. If I can't get more pings on this, I'll get pings for the whole damn show, okay? That's what Trump should be doing. He should be looking at advice or so-called that's what he should be doing. I lost of words today, folks. I do apologize. But that's what he should be doing. He should be going to people such as the CDC. He should be going to the top science guys in the field, seeing what needs to be done. Close the borders, okay? If he has to close the damn borders, Mexico, or just close the entire ports and airports from people and have a huge travel ban for the next 8 months to a year, so be it. So be it. Is it going to put a damper on our economy? It may, or it may not. Okay, it may put a damper on it. It may put a so-called whoomp on the economy. Okay, but it's going to affect tourist areas. It might affect just generalized travel to the United States from people coming in from China and stuff like that, and other people around the region. Yes, it's going to put an effect on that. Okay, but folks, we don't grow our economy just on that alone. We have a national economy such as an international economy. Okay, what I'm saying is the international economy will take a bump. It will. Okay, but it won't take a permanent bump. It will only take a temporary bump until we can resolve this thing, until we can resolve the issue of what needs to be done. Okay, the national economy is always going to rise and decrease. It's always going to go up and down, folks. It's always going to go up and down. And it doesn't matter who your president is. Well, in the long term, it does matter who your president is. Okay, but that's on a different scale, folks. Okay, the economy will always go up and down depending on, basically how it allows it to. How the system allows its own system to control its economy. It's been going on like that for 50, 100 something odd years. But folks, that's on a different scale. We're talking about what's best for the American people. And I think Trump should go to his advisors in the science field, the CDC centers, and other centers that have a strong influence on this disease, that have a strong understanding on this. Don't go to your senior advisors. Don't go to your other people in your administration because they don't know what this thing is about. Go to those people I've told you to go to, okay? And that's the only way, okay, people can take President Trump serious on controlling this, because that's what the American people want. They want a president that can take seriousness on foreign diseases and viruses, okay? Because this thing, this virus is a foreign virus. This virus, we have no idea yet about it, okay? It's just like, when AIDS came into the United States. No one knew nothing about AIDS. They didn't know how to control it, this and that. And as much as our evolution and our technology grew in the United States, and we developed treatments and such to control it and help manage it, things got better, did they not? Just like any other virus or disease. The common cold, what do? You go and you get the medication for the common cold. A couple days later, you feel fine. See, folks, we're not there yet with this disease. We're not there yet with this virus, okay? Okay? Is it a disease and a virus? Same thing. One and the other make up the same thing. It's a major worldly thing. Folks, I'm going to take a break and I'll be right back on the show. Don't go nowhere. Hey guys, if you're out there trying to find something natural for your body, you're getting tired of taking medicine, or you're just not one of those, pill popping type of people, try hemp. What is hemp? Hemp is very natural and it's great for your body. It's known to help people with Alzheimer's, epilepsy, seizures, just about everything. Headaches. I mean, it's very natural, folks. And it's becoming very popular as well, too. The hemp industry is suspected to grow in the next 10 to 20 years, and it's growing right now at a tremendous rate. What I would recommend is try HempWorks. HempWorks, you could find it on just about everywhere on the internet. If you just Google HempWorks, that's HEMPWORX. And mention that you heard this from the Savage Angle podcast. Don't forget to tell them that the Savage Angle sent you. And you're going to find some great products, folks, with HempWorks. I have HempWorks products at my house that I use. And I'm telling you what, folks, it's a great company and they supply great natural products. And they stand by their guarantee as well. So if you're out there and you want to find something new, something natural for your body, log on to HempWorks. You're going to love their products, folks. Hey, folks, back to the show here. Talking about the ongoing saga of the coronavirus. I can't get enough of this thing. This thing is just, who's to say, are we suffering from a coronavirus phobia? I think we are. Some of us are. And it's so easy to manipulate, us as Americans. I really do. I mean, you could say something, this goes back to the swan flu. This goes back to, does everybody remember Ebola and how crazy Ebola was? These are all like phobias, okay? And is it serious? Yes, it is serious, folks. But, we have to move along with our lives and understand that this one thing shouldn't hurt us as an Americans. Okay, it shouldn't develop a scare so much to us where we have to literally just understand on the fundamentals of what life is supposed to be. Okay, and for one, folks, I'm not going to be in that group of people where it's going to affect my life so damn bad where I'm just going to say, oh, coronavirus, I have to, I can't go to work, I can't get up and basically format my life the way it's supposed to be. No, folks, I'm not like that. I was never like that, and I'm not sure as hell not going to start now. But with that being said, folks, I want to move along with the show. Good news. The youth of America, folks, okay? I don't know if anybody has seen this, but, the Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, old man Sanders, the youth of America. Oh, boy. Everybody has a name, everybody seems to have a name here in politics, because of, just the craziness of what's been going on lately in the last couple of years. But the youth of America, folks, is it's turning away from the radical left and the democratic socialists, such as Senator Sanders, in favor of conservative ideas. The youth. I told everybody, this little movement, because politics have movements too. I mean, you look at Trump's movement back in 2016. The Make America Great Again movement. That movement, folks, I believe was the strongest movement, okay, in American politics. I really do. I strongly believe in that. That might have been the strongest movement and the biggest movement in American politics. And it's continuing to this day. I mean, the Trump had rolled out earlier this year with the, Make America, Keep America Great. Keep America Great. He made America great, and now he's going to promise to keep America great if he wins his reelection, which I think he's going to do. I think he's going to do that because, every president, when they win office for the first time, they have to do their job. They have to deliver promises, and they have to stand by those. And I don't think Trump is done. I think Trump needs to, finish the job of what he was elected to do, and continue greatness in his presidential tenure. I really do. And I'm glad that the youth right now is seeing seeing the lies. Okay. The pathological lies of Sanders, okay? Because I don't buy what he's trying to sell to the American people. I don't buy it. I said this yesterday on my show. I don't buy it. I don't buy the crap, okay, that he's selling, okay? Because you can look at old bits of old Sanders from when he was a professor, okay, and teaching, what was it, up in Vermont? Yeah, when he was teaching up in Vermont. Half the crap he was telling his students. What are Jews known for being sheep? What are black people known for being smelly? I mean, to tell these people, these students, and then at that time, denouncing his Jewish heritage. And then all of a sudden, miraculously, all of a sudden, now he re-announces that he's proud to be Jewish. Folks, he's using that as a political stand for his candidacy for president. That's all he's doing. And see, people like that, they can use their heritage and other ethnicities as an attack weapon, okay? Because all he has to say is he has to bring up that stupid thing, because I'm Jewish, no one wants to vote for me. I mean, and then everybody's starting to feel sad and sorry for Sanders. Oh, well, back then, Sanders, you de-announced yourself that you're not proud to be Jewish, okay? But now all of a sudden, now you are proud to be Jewish. It's like it goes back and forth with this guy so much. And I'm glad the American youth, okay, because that's going to be the turning point in the election this year. Okay, it always has. I think it's been the turning point in the election for the last 3 years maybe. It's been a big factor, right, folks? It's been a really big factor on this whole turning point in politics. The American youth. The American youth, folks, is our future, okay? That American youth is always going to be the next generation of what America is going to be. Is it going to be a success, What future do we have in America? You can always turn to the youth for that, okay? Because they make a big influence on what it's going to be like in the next generation of America, okay? In my personal opinion, I think that students, once they are informed about what Bernie Sanders actually believes and why he believes it, they'll turn away from him in a record number. I do believe that. I believe the American students, okay, the youth that we have today, okay, or what some of us call them millennials. The millennials of today will turn away from Sanders' crazy agenda of socialism, okay? And, you know, Sanders said about a month ago, I believe, Sanders is willing to promise everything and take other people's money away to pay for it. Not every student wants student loan forgiveness. Okay, did you hear what I just said? Sanders promises that he's going to deliver student loan forgiveness. Well, what does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. That means that Sanders is going to go towards taxpayers, okay, and take their money away from them to pay for student loan forgiveness. So that means, folks, your taxes that you pay right now are going to be tripled. They're going to go higher than they are now, okay, to pay for student loan forgiveness. Well, we already pay for half the crap that we pay for, right? We pay for people that are on food stamps, people that are on welfare, government aid. Yes. I'm not against that, folks. What I'm against, okay, and I'm going to get that, get into that in a short little while here on the show, okay, because I want to talk about that in a little bit. I want to talk about food stamps and welfare, okay, because that's been on my mind for a very, very long time, okay? I'm not against it. I'll tell you what I'm against, okay, and I'll get into that in a short period of time. Oh, you're gonna want to listen to that, okay, because I'm going to go all off on that, okay? But I want to talk about, the Sanders scenario here. Okay, across Super Tuesday, there was an exit poll. Okay, and I don't know if you knew this or not, but Sanders won an outstanding 61% to former Vice President Joe Biden's 17% among voters under 30. Okay, so the 61% that Sanders won, okay, versus Biden's 17%, those were voters under the age of 30. So, from 18 years old on up to 30 years old, okay, those young voters, got Sanders' attention, his message of what he's trying to spread. But not all the youth buys it. Half of it buy it and half of it don't. Okay, so let's just say the 61% buy his agenda. The other, 39%, okay, they don't buy his crap. And I sure as hell don't buy his crap because he's selling crap. Okay, it's like a salesman on the side of the road, right? When you get in the city or you go somewhere, they're trying to sell you something. It's crap. Or anybody been on the subway or or any type of train service, public transportation service, and you get this guy that's trying to sell you something. It could be something stupid like portable chargers for your cell phone, or a USB charger cord, because it's crap. You don't know where the hell it's been. I understand the guy's got to make money for a living, and maybe he's homeless and he's just trying to make a couple little bucks or something, to feed himself. It's the same thing with the guys that go on the side of the road and they're trying to sell you some Gatorade or water or something for a couple dollars or something, they're trying to make a living, but it's crap that they're selling you. That's what this Sanders reminds me of. A street person trying to sell somebody crap in a political message. Because that's all it is crap. And when soon people find out, okay, when people find out what he's trying to sell you, they're going to understand that Sanders can't be taken seriously. Okay? Because if he's talking this way and he's trying to deliver messages this way, he's crisscrossing his messages, folks. If he crisscrosses his message, how the hell is he going to run a country? Because you can't crisscross a country when you're a leader of the free world. No, sir. No, ma'am. You can't do that. You have to deliver by promise. You have to deliver to the American people. What the American people want, you need to deliver, whether you like it or not. And I can't take Sanders serious. I talk more about Sanders as a potential candidate against Trump than Biden. Because Biden, he freezes. He froze on stage last debate, and he's going to freeze against Sanders. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Sanders and Trump in November. That's what's going to happen. Oh, boy. What are we looking at here? Generation Z and millennials are projected to make up to 37% of voters in the 2020 presidential election. We all know that. We all know that the Generation Z and the millennials are your voters that you have to look for. Everybody knows that there are swing states and stuff like that make a difference. Yes, it's always been like that, folks. Always been like that. But now that we're getting into the 2020s, okay, things are going to change. The swing states are always going to be the difference maker, no matter what. Without a shadow of a doubt, they're always going to be difference makers that make a difference in general elections, okay? And they also make a difference in early voting and everything else. They always have been. But folks, you have to look at these next generation of young voters, okay? Because in 2016, we seen that. And folks, we're going to see that again in 2020. And sure as hell, we're going to see that in 2024 and on forth, okay? We're going to see that. We're going to see that. They are projected to make up to 37% of voters, okay? It might be higher, okay? That poll number might go up in the summer and quite frankly in the fall. Okay, it might go up. It might decrease, it might go up. It just depends. It depends on on who's delivering, messages and agendas, such as Sanders and Biden and Trump for that matter. If Trump needs to stay strong. We all know that he's a strong president and he has muscle behind his words. But Trump needs to stay where he's at right now. If anything, he could be a little bit better on delivering and saying different things, okay, to the American youth. I think he needs to get more evolved in his involvement in the American youth, such as campuses and colleges around the country. He needs to hold rallies more to the American youth. Yes, he does need to do that. Yes, he holds rallies, and pretty much everybody comes. The majority of voters right now for Trump is showing anywhere between 35 to 60. But he needs to start bringing in more younger voters under the age of 30. Okay, because we see that Biden is bringing it in that, okay? Okay, and that short little margin of 37% could be a difference maker in the 2020 election. We have to watch that. We really do. I think, okay, the left is getting smaller, okay? But they're getting louder, okay? They're not increasing in numbers, but they're increasing in volume. They are, folks. It's you can see that every day. That their message is basically they're gasping. They're losing energy. They're losing, that message of what they're trying to do. Okay. If you really look at what Sanders is trying to tell the American people, if you look at that, you're going to understand it's not going to work in this country. It's not. Free for all, Medicare, healthcare, that sounds great on paper. It really does. But Who is it going to hurt the most? It's going to hurt the American taxpayer. Because right now, folks, I don't know if you like what you're paying in taxes, but I sure as hell like what I'm paying in my taxes. I like the fact that Trump lowered our taxes, okay? I sure as hell didn't like when Obama raised our taxes, okay? I didn't like that one damn bit. So, if you vote for Trump, your taxes will be lowered, possibly lower than they are now in the 2020 election and going forward for the next 4 years. They will be, okay? But if you vote for Sanders and he wins, I'm telling you right now, folks, there goes your taxes, there goes your job growth, there goes your U.S. economy, because we will then be living under a socialist, communist country. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. It's not a scare tactic. It's going to happen. It's what are we calling it now? It's a spoiler alert, folks. You just heard a spoiler alert on the Savage Angle show. Okay? That's if you vote for Bernie Sanders and his communist yet socialist agendas. The question is my generation, meaning my generation, okay, going to embrace the ideas of an outward socialism or soft socialism versus real results, okay? Now, with that being said, if the Democrats end up nominating Joe Biden, okay, which looks increasingly likely that they will, okay, because right now it's very, very close between Biden and Sanders, okay? I believe that President Trump can win the youth vote for the first time since '84 when Reagan as a Republican did, okay? I think that. I think they could do that. But I also think that Sanders is really, really close to Biden, too. It's really close. I mean, the numbers are like, it was like, oh, God, like a 50-50, the polls were like real close with Biden and Sanders, and they have been. I mean, Biden just pulled up, more delegates, okay, and the poll went up for Biden. But Sanders is trailing, behind him, but not really that far behind him. I mean, literally, they're folks, they're on the same sidewalk, okay? Yeah, Biden's, down the block a little bit, but Sanders is, he's getting up to that block real quick. So it's going to be a close one, folks. It really is. It's going to be a real, real close one. Folks, with that being said, I want to get into some resolutions, some solutions to the homeless, crisis that we're having here in the United States. I want to talk about that, but I want to take a quick little break, folks. I really want to get into that, but I'm gonna speak on that just shortly after these words. Hey guys. If you're liking my podcast so far, you should check out the podcast on Twitter. Yes, the Savage Angle podcast is now on Twitter. Just search at the Savage Angle, and it'll pop up right there on the Twitter. But yes, we're now on Twitter, also on Facebook. If you Google the Savage Angle podcast, that will pop up as well too. And we're also on, different types of platforms out there, such as Google, Spotify, Apple, and anywhere you might find your podcast at. Guys, this podcast is jaw-dropping, it's unscripted, and it's raw material. Just give us a try out today, guys. You'll love it. Hey, folks, I was talking about politics for the last 20 minutes here on the show. I want to close out the show. I want to get into homelessness. I know it's a soft subject, but it's homelessness, believe it or not, folks, it could have an impact on the 2020 election. It really could. I know it sounds crazy, I know it sounds barbaric, but homelessness, folks, is increasing in numbers as we see it. We see the crisis going on right now in the California valleys and in the rural areas. More or less, they favor city areas such as San Diego. I mean, you go to San Diego right now, folks, and homelessness is all around San Diego. You can't even walk down the damn sidewalk right now in San Diego, and especially L.A., Venice Beach area, without running into a little homeless camp, so to speak, set up. Homelessness today is growing at tremendous numbers. It's getting bad. It really is. It's getting bad to the fact that it could have a big impact again on the 2020 election. It could have a real big fact on the 2020 election. Okay, because not too long ago, Sanders literally made a statement about homelessness. And he's blaming the Trump administration on not delivering statements or some type of, solutions to end homelessness. Folks, you can't end homelessness. Sanders, you can't end homelessness. Homeless will always be around in this country. You can't. The other day I was listening to this podcast. Okay, I'm not delivering names, but there was a person, okay, that made a big argument on homelessness and resolution and solutions on homelessness, okay, and what needs to be done. We should all put homeless people in a mental hospital, okay? Yeah. Right? Every homeless person is a mental case, is a nut job? No. Not every homeless person, man or woman, child, is a nut job in this country. They don't belong in mental institutes. Not all 100% of them don't. Okay? Some people are homeless today, folks. Do you know some people are homeless today but still maintain a part-time or full-time job? Oh, they do. Well, Mike, why are they homeless if they have a full or a part-time job, and living in a tent in the woods or on the side of a bench, a park bench on the side of the sidewalk? Why are they living in an experience that's the situation? Why? Why, you say? Is because one or two things is going on. They're living paycheck to paycheck, okay? Which other people do live paycheck to paycheck. Some of them are not always homeless. Some of them live in housing and such as that, okay? But folks, yes, the economy is growing, okay? It's growing higher than it is now than it was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. It is. But with a growing and a strong economy comes people that have to rise above poverty and homelessness, okay? Maybe, just maybe, okay, they don't have the means behind their funds to put down as a deposit for a house or an apartment or a mobile home, or, some people, just make enough to where they can survive, okay? And that's what's going on, folks, right now, okay? You can look at the percentage rates, okay, with homeless today. 60% of them are living paycheck to paycheck and have jobs, while the other 40% are your average day bums, okay, that prefer living on the side of the road, panhandling for money and begging for money. Those people, folks, I don't have one damn bit of respect for, and I don't feel sorry for them, because the 40% of those people are your homeless bums, are your men and women that prefer to stay that way, live off the government, live off of the taxpayer, get food stamps, this and that, beg for money, and still remain homeless. I don't feel a bit of sorry for them. I don't. I feel that they should be ashamed of themselves for what they're doing. Okay? Because those folks, those 40% of people, they are homeless for one or two things. Those people are homeless because they make bad decisions, they drink, they do drugs, and they pour a bad image on this country, okay? Those are your 40% of people, men and women, that will continue to stay homeless because they don't have any bit of energy to rise above that. While the 60% bust their ass every single day and still are homeless, okay? But they get up every day, they brush their teeth if they can, they take a shower wherever they can, they go to work, they get a paycheck, but they still can't rise above poverty. They still can't rise above putting a better roof over their head, so to speak. I know people today that work, okay, that live in hotels, but still go to work every day. They still go to work every day. They live in a hotel. That's their house. That's where they hang their hat. So, you want to listen to these idiotic people, these podcast hosts that want to talk about putting homeless people, put every damn homeless person, okay, in a mental hospital because they're homeless. Oh, put them in mental hospitals because they're mental. No, folks, not every homeless person is mental. They're a person just like you and me. So you're not homeless. You live in your house. Maybe you're a millionaire. Maybe you're a person that just, doesn't makes just enough money to have a house. Should we put you in a mental hospital because maybe you don't see eye to eye on what that homeless person sees? No, folks, you can't do that. Okay? You can't do that. You can't, and then you can't listen to people like Bernie Sanders that says, oh, well, everybody living paycheck to paycheck and somebody could lose their job next week and they can't live and this and that. You can't go into a paranoia state of mind because of this problem. My solution is to leave people alone and allow them to deliver on what their life wants to be, okay? But yes, there is a homeless crisis in California and other areas with homeless, okay? What we should be doing is looking at the homeless criminals in those areas that do drugs, drink excessively, and run businesses out of town because they set up tents. Okay? Those people, yes, I believe should be in mental hospitals. What I think they should do is cut their damn tents, slash them up, burn them up, then they won't have to have a tent on the side of the road. Then they won't be running little small mama and papa shops and large corporations out of town because of their activity, their drug activity. Those folks, those people, those need, okay, to be in mental hospitals because there's something mentally wrong with them. But not every homeless person, man, woman, or child has mental problems. They're just facing a little hardship. Okay? That's the difference maker. And also, like I said, it's going to affect the general election. It is. Because those small people, okay, that maybe that 10% or 20% of people, they need a strong president behind to stand by their message. Folks, I'm going to close it up here on the show. Hope you enjoyed today's podcast and join us everywhere on the podcast platforms such as Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts. We could also be found on Facebook, the Savage Angle Podcast, and also on Twitter at the Savage Angle, and wherever you find podcasts, we are at, folks. Okay? Thank you for joining today's show, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot, folks, and remember to be yourself. Don't be an average person. Like I say, be savage and get where you want to go in life. Thanks. Savage, uncut, unfiltered, raw. I don't know what the hell people are always complaining about. You know, I do a podcast and they never know when to, just shut their mouths and let me talk. I mean, this is the Savage Angle. This isn't your rickety-dickety, 1980s or 1990s talk radio show. I say what's on my mind. And, folks like that. Savage Angle. We'll be right back after these words. Savage Angle. Follow on Facebook, The Savage Angle Podcast. Also can be found on Spotify, Google, Apple, and anywhere you find your podcast. The Savage Angle Show. Subscribe now.